Max Crosby is going to get that ultimate effort. He's going to be one of the best players in the league.
You have to know what you have out of your draft class before you go into the offseason. Before you go out there and shop the market, you got to know what you have in the cupboard.
His sure hands and receiver speed not only put him at the forefront of a new breed of tight end, but should also make him a quarterback's best friend.
Welcome inside another edition of Raiders Roundtable, Week 16 edition. Vince Sapienza filling in for JT the Brick. Honored to do so and always humbled to sit next to the Hall of Famer, EA Eric Allen. All right, EA, let's just jump right into it. Week 16, the Raiders lose their 9th consecutive game, but a 23-21 result in Houston had a very different feel, had a very different look.
Without a doubt. Energy level through the roof. Just a really good job by the coaching staff getting these guys prepared for a team that's going to be in the playoff. That football team Raiders played on Sunday was a playoff caliber football team, one of the best defenses in the league, a really up-and-coming young quarterback with some really good receivers on the outside. So I was really excited to see the battle going back and forth with this football team. Unfortunately, came up a little bit short, but a lot of positive things happened on Sunday.
You saw all the numbers there on your screen. I think the biggest one that jumps out to us and that we were talking about is, for the first time since week 5, over 75 yards rushing. For a team that went into training camp wanting to run the ball, they finally were able to succeed against the #1 defense in Houston.
Without a doubt. And Ashton Jeanty and that offensive line, just great job. And I think we have to owe a lot of credit to Coach Olsen, just getting that game plan involved, being able to move the pocket a little bit, and then you're going to kind of freeze those guys at the second level, and then you hit him in the mouth with that offensive line duel, then get into the second level. Ashton was able, obviously, to get the football and be able to choose which side he was going to. Great job of hitting it up in the inside and then bouncing it out, and sometimes just really taking those outside zones, making really good decisions as far as being a running back is concerned. Just thought a lot about the offensive line and Ashton Jeanty getting it done on Sunday.
A career-high 24 carries for Ashton Jeanty. Second time he goes over the century mark, 188 yards from scrimmage. Let's hear from the Raiders rookie runner.
How good did it feel to finally get that type of performance, and did it feel like you were back at Boise?
Nah, I didn't feel like I was back at Boise, but it was definitely just great to be able to do that. Obviously, O-line, you did a great job blocking up front, and then just great play calls to, take advantage of the opportunities out there.
Now, it may not have felt like it to him, but it had the look of it, the explosive plays, the punishing hits. I don't think we've talked enough about this season, his physicality, his durability, and his ability to continue that punishment throughout the game. Yeah,
he has a different skill set, right? Most guys his size are a little more lateral movement, kind of make you miss in a phone booth. And my guy, James, JJ, we always talk about this. His skill set is his lower center of gravity allows him to be able to break through tackles, which is a great concept when you're talking about a guy who can really break that long run and be able to avoid tackles by just basically using his body and being able to have that great contact balance. And we've seen that over and over again with him when he has an opportunity at the second or third level. Really surprised, though, that the offensive line was able to dominate the Houston Texans pretty much the whole game and allowed Ashton to be able to kind of choose and pick which hole he was going through. It's a really successful day for the offensive line yesterday.
Shows a little bit of what time on task can do for an offensive line moving forward. Let's switch gears and talk about quarterback Geno Smith. It was a game where he bounces back after missing due to injury in Philadelphia. When you look at the numbers, a fairly good day in terms of what the blueprint the Raiders wanted. Not the start he wanted. He throws his league-leading 15th interception. Here's Geno on what went wrong on that play early in the first.
On that play, man, I just got thrown away. They had a better call than us at that time. I think we've kind of worn out the roll pass. Those guys, they play cover 2 and third and short. We've got to have an out to get to a run or something like that. We can't run that play, and then I can't. I tried to put it on Ashton. He kind of kept running, and corner made a good play. I got to throw it away and just, live to play another down.
Now, as somebody who played the game, I think a lot of fans sit there and they watch that play and they say, what is he doing? But if you just heard what he had to say, the way he broke it down, it's not that he doesn't understand what he's trying to make a play, right? He's trying to make a play in a season where plays have been tough to come by. Right. What did you make of his performance overall?
Well, what he said was he should have checked out of it. Because if you're in cover 2, that means basically you're in a lighter box, only 7 guys at the line of scrimmage, so you give your offense an opportunity to run the football against a lighter box. So if you check to a run, which I'm really encouraged that that's his thought process, you may have an opportunity to have a big explosive run. But you know what? He's trying to make a play. And one thing a quarterback and a cornerback have to have is a quick memory. And he's not concerned about the interceptions that happened in the past. He's trying to make a play. And I can encourage the guy to continue to try and make plays. But let's get to the right play so that doesn't happen.
It may be too little too late, week 16, but you saw the Raiders getting closer to their identity. One of the other hallmarks of this franchise is not just on the football field. It is what they do in the community. We'll give you the details on what the Silver and Black are doing here in Las Vegas.
There's regular cold, and then there's the mountains are blue cold. Mountain cold refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
At Cox, we're always a step ahead. There you go. I'll show you. Like, before your basement became Movie Central, we made sure you'd have strong Wi-Fi, even down here. And you can rest easy knowing the price of your plan won't go up for 3 years. Guaranteed. See? He's looking out for you, and so are we, with advanced security that blocks threats on your network. Good boy. Whatever the future brings, Cox will keep you a step ahead. Oh.
Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. You in?
This is not a blue moon. Now it is. Now it's not. Now it is. Now it's not. Now it is. Now it's not. Now it is. A Valencia orange makes a blue moon, and everything a little brighter.
Raiders Roundtable is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Coors Light, choose chill, an official beer of Raider Nation. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Welcome back to Raiders Roundtable. Recently, the Raiders partnered with Wynn Resorts to welcome students from Dean Peterson Rise Academy for a youth holiday party here at the Intermountain Health Performance Center.
A bunch of the kids are here, or we have a bunch of different things set up for the kids. Come and have a good time, seeing all the smiles on the kids' faces, and let them come back here and be able to pick whatever presents they want.
What about you? What do you want?
I think it's really cool to be able to help kids be in a position where I can help others. And so, it's really cool seeing the smiles on their faces and, seeing them running around having fun. So, it means a lot. It's really cool. So, which one of these is your favorite, though? That one right there?
Oh, there you go.
I also say thank you to the Raiders for allowing us to do this. It's really cool that they're so engaged with the community. When you are in that position, no better feeling than to be able to help other people that, that are struggling and everything. And so I think this is really key.
Be able to just give back to the community, give back to kids, especially during the holiday season. It's really just a blessing, and it's something I know that all the guys here take pride in.
Your favorite thing so far?
So far, probably the Iron Man.
That's dope. This is pretty cool. I like Spider-Man too. It was nice to see you earlier. I'm glad you found the gift. And Merry Christmas. I think I'm too big to sit on your lap. Come on.
No problem.
Come on, Santa.
All right.
How much fun was that?
Oh,
that stuff never gets old.
That's right. I miss those times, when you have around the holiday season, and the Raiders are always the best at being involved in the community, and that's good times, man. These players really enjoy that time with the community, and having the opportunity to be here in the building and representing was really cool.
Yeah, you can see how sincere the looks, the smiles, the laughs, the conversation.
You go
with the
back
kids.
to being a kid.
Yeah, and seeing a guy like Jonah, a Las Vegas kid who understands what it means to those kids, especially here in this community. Good on them, good on the Raiders, as always. Coming up here on Raiders Roundtable, we're going to chat with Raiders columnist Paul Gutierrez to break down everything we saw in Week 16.
Could you hand me a piece of tape?
Get your money working this holiday season and get a cash bonus when you open a checking account at America First Credit Union.
The power of we is all for one. It's all for you. It's always there for you. It completes your circle. It says you've got a team even when you're out there alone. And with Intermountain Health in your circle, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
At Cox, we're always a step ahead. There you go. I'll show you. Like, before your basement became Movie Central, we made sure you'd have strong Wi-Fi, even down here. And you can rest easy knowing the price of your plan won't go up for 3 years. Guaranteed. See? He's looking out for you, and so are we, with advanced security that blocks threats on your network. Good boy. Whatever the future brings, Cox will keep you a step ahead. Oh.
Welcome back inside Raiders Roundtable. Vince Sapienza sitting alongside the Hall of Famer EA, and joined by Raiders columnist Paul Gutierrez. PG, good, happy holidays to you and yours. Let's just jump right into Week 16. The Raiders fall 23-21, but as I said to EA, it looked different, it felt different, and it started with the man known as the Silver Surfer, Deuce.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. And I'll tell you what, there was definitely a different feel in Houston. And you go to any player in that locker room, and anytime they take the field, the goal is to win a game. And they'll tell you there's no such thing as moral victories in the NFL. But I'll tell you, being in a locker room, talking to the guys at the podium afterwards, there was kind of a positive loss, if there's such a thing as that. And number one is because of the things that you saw the younger players do. Ashton Genty himself, I mean, this looked like the guy that the Raiders thought they were drafting at number 6 overall. That's not a slight against what he's been able to do and what has not been able to do thus far in the season, but you saw the skill set. You saw the catching, you saw the running, you saw him in space. And I don't want to kind of pat myself on the back or pat Raiders.com on the back a little bit here, but we talked about this in the pregame radio show yesterday about how he was so good in space. I got to look at my notes here real quick, so I'm sorry, this is a TV faux pas here, but he came into the game with 54 missed tackles. That was the 9th most in the NFL. The Texans, they were missing tackles in the run game at a 23.5% clip. 10th highest. So we kind of talked about maybe that's a way for Ashton to get going. And when we saw it as that Texans defense got tired late in the game, boom, he was gone. Silver Surfer was off doing his thing.
Yeah, I tell you what, let's stay on that topic. The one thing that was encouraging was Coach Olsen able to kind of bring the offensive line, Ashton Jeanty, kind of the identification, what we're trying to do. He did a really good job of just providing different packages, different looks, spreading Ashton out, locating him one-on-one, the linebacker, and knowing, hey, that's where you want to go. I mean, what can you say about what Coach O was able to do with the offensive line and Ashton?
Yeah, he definitely gets an A for the game plan, right? Because you got to always keep this in the back. This is always something that when it comes to Ole and the offense, it's not his offense. It's nothing that he schemed up. He is just basically trying to make chicken salad here based on what was presented to him because he is the play caller. He's the quarterback coach. This isn't his scheme. So to be able to recognize this, it's taken a couple weeks to get going. But again, it all really does depend upon what the offensive line can and more importantly can't do. They were able to do some things yesterday to present time to Geno, to give holes to Ashton. And when you put Ashton in space and you let him create, that is the identity that we thought we were going to see. Vince, I heard you say it earlier, too little, too late. Okay, but it gives you a ground, it gives you a blueprint to plan some things going forward. There's other questions that come along with that. Who's going to be the shot caller going forward? But for right here, right now, just enjoy the successes they did have. It didn't come out on the positive end in the scoreboard, but take the positives for when you can.
Paul, you just said the buzzword I wanted to go with, the blueprint, talking about Geno Smith. Obviously, the pick six is not what anybody wants. It's not what Geno wants. It's his 15th INT of the season. We understand that. But the rest of the game, the ball was in the air. I mean, there was air yardage for the first time, what feels like forever. And we saw the fruits of that labor come with the Brock Bowers, come with the Ashton Jeanty. What did you see different from Geno in Week 16?
Saw a guy that looked more comfortable behind the line of scrimmage. And again, I know I'll keep harping on this. Games are won and lost in the trenches. The fact that he looked comfortable meant that he had time to look downfield and scan for receivers and go through his progressions, go through his reads. If he's able to do that and he's able to roll out, that opens up so many more things. And I'm sure you could speak to that more as a cornerback. But when a quarterback is rolling out, even on the interception, it was interesting to read between the lines of what Geno said. He didn't necessarily like the play call because he thought they're getting too static in rolling out and defenses knew what to do in whatever coverage they were in. But he also took the blame, said, look, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
Yeah.
So you go from there and you just keep building away. You keep chipping away. It's like, I'll go back, to our days growing up in Southern California. Pat Riley, when he was doing Showtime with the Lakers, he said it was like sucking on an ice cube. Soon enough, that thing's just going to crack. And if you have an offense that can run the ball, that is what's going to happen in this situation. And you saw it late in the game with Ashton Jeanty. If he's not hauling in a 60-yard touchdown catch, he's busting off a 51-yard run. And that is what the Raiders wanted to do.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think in listening to his comments about the interception, he should have put himself in a different situation by going to a lighter box, going to a run in that situation. And we expect him to kind of do that, over the course of this year. He didn't do it enough. But again, I just think that when you're in the red zone, you have to find a way to get the ball to Brock Bowers, and he did that. And that kind of combination is really, really what this Raiders red zone package should be about, right?
Exactly. And when you saw, if you look, and my colleague at Raiders.com, Levi Edwards, he put it perfectly on social media when he said the stutter step was sick. If you saw the way that Brock kind of stuttered coming off the line, everybody was frozen. Yeah. And he was wide open in the end zone. And when you have young talent like that and the athletes like that can make things happen, that's going to make whatever the play call is even better. And then you're going to be in sync with the quarterback. So what you saw here was from Geno Smith, his best performance, in my opinion, since the opener. When I believe what I wrote at the time was Geno Smith doesn't blink. He didn't blink then. There's been at least 15 blinks since then, with the interceptions and whatnot. Not all on him, But that is what it is. When you have the talent around you and you recognize it and you're able to go there at will, again, because the offensive line gives you time, that is where we're going here. I mean, when you talk about that offensive line, I mean, who knew that Alex Kappa could play center like this? He didn't. I mean, he was talking about when he first jumped into center, he hadn't played center since training camp of his rookie year. Now, all of a sudden, this line is kind of forming up and kind of solidifying itself, which is a strange thing in Week 16.
Yeah, PG, let's keep the spotlight on this offensive line, because at what point are we going to give this coaching staff credit for the building and the developing of a guy like Alex Kappa, who, hey, they saw something and he's delivering, at least he did in Week 16. Caleb Rogers in his 4th start passes the eye test, I feel like, in a big way. When you look at this offensive line, is it simply time on task? Is this, again, I said too little too late in terms of the end-all be-all goals for this season, but there's still a lot of development that can take place moving forward into the offseason.
And that's what these last 2 games are going to be for, especially when it comes to draft selections and draft spots and fans that are going to be way more invested in that than others fans perhaps. But yeah, when it comes to what they were able to do on the offensive line, you have to give them credit for what they were able to do at Houston. The same way you have to be able to criticize or be critical of what they were not able to do the previous 13, 14 games, whatever it is. So with Caleb Rogers, it looks like the Raiders really have found themselves somebody there. They've drafted him in the 3rd round. He should be a guy that should be starting at some point. With other guys on that offensive line, it has been kind of mix and match. There's not a lot of plug-and-play guys on this roster right now. So that is something for this coaching staff, for the coaching staff this offseason to figure out, because it has been a weakness. It can be a strength. And when you have Colton Miller that's still itching to get out there and play at left tackle, that's one of your pillars going forward. He's one of the older players on this roster, but he's one of the guys like a Max Crosby, like an A.J. Cole, that's been here the longest and understands what this organization is all about. So offensive line-wise, to me, again, it always starts and ends there. And to me, when you look at the offensive line, you don't really, the less you notice an offensive lineman, the better they're doing.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Let's switch to the other side of the ball. I think Coach Graham deserves a lot of credit. You know, we've had some issues tackling the past couple weeks. I just thought that defensively they did a great job of providing great pressure on the Houston Texans and just delivering on big-time hits, open field tackles. I mean, that was really what I saw jumping off the film yesterday in Houston.
Yeah, Eric, again, I know I always date myself with my pop culture references here, but I'm going to go with you. Buford T. Justice, I'm in hot pursuit. That's the first thing I thought of from Smoking the Bandit when Max Crosby was chasing down Nick Chubb 30 yards downfield. He had a shot at him at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Watched him go by, and then boom, was in hot pursuit. It was like the Sheriff Buford T. Justice after the Bandit, and he caught him 30 yards down the field. This is a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Granted, this is early in the 4th quarter. The game was still in hand as it was through the end, but it showed you what that defense came to do yesterday. It packed its lunch. It was ready to do some things. Max Crosby epitomized that yesterday, especially. He does all year long. He has since he's pretty much been here. But to see that kind of a play, and it wasn't just that he chased him down, it was the way he tackled him. He just kind of, boom, just like this wave came over him. It was like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
So that, to me, spoke volumes about the way the defense played. Devin White still got all his tackles. He set a single-season record for the Raiders, so that's a good thing. There's a lot of missed tackles in there as well. But what that tells me is that he's always around the ball.
That's right.
And you just go from there.
PG, somebody once told me you can't help yourself until you stop hurting yourself. And when we talk about the Raiders in Week 16 specifically, penalties were a bit of an issue for the Silver and Black, especially late in the game. I'm curious, when you look at the way the game transpired, in a game that on paper, there was no business this game being close. Yeah. But a 23-21 result, I mean, you talk about the margins. That was another example in Houston.
Yeah, and it's funny when you, like this play right here, did he really impede his progress to the ball?
No.
And that's a Hall of Fame cornerback saying that right there. And there was a couple other things. And it was funny because usually when the penalties are happening, maybe this is the play right here, with Lonnie, it didn't really impede him. There was touching going on, I guess, by the letter of the law. Yeah, that was pass interference. But at the same point, it didn't really stick out to me live. Watching it, being there in the press box, seeing it, it didn't really stick me that the Raiders are killing themselves with penalties. At the end of the day, you look at the box score, this penalty, that. Pete Carroll talked about it yesterday. There were a couple penalties at key times that really kind of hamstrung the Raiders. So yes, whether it's the referees, whether it's themselves, penalties are always going to hurt you. But you know what? If you're wearing silver and black and you got that helmet on, you know that comes with the territory.
You got to get used to it.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily the number of penalties, but time plays to your point and the critical timing. Paul Gutierrez, Raiders columnist. Check out all his work on Raiders.com. PG, we appreciate you as always.
Thanks, guys. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Mele Kalikimaka. Feliz Navidad.
Right back at you. Man, that was Licky Maka.
So dialed in.
We're not done here on Raiders Roundtable. When we return, we're going to look forward, find solutions. What is next for the Silver and Black? We'll take a look at the rest of the schedule and what is at stake for the Raiders.
And a blue moon.
Wow, that is a delicious looking orange slice.
Thank you. That's actually my son's slice. Proud of you, son.
Thanks, Dad.
I'm sorry, this is a slice of your son?
Look, it's an honor to be chosen for a blue moon.
Well, if it's an honor.
Yeah.
No! Just kidding.
That was a really good one.
The larger one is the dad.
Nothing outshines a blue moon.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time.
Great time to buy Ranger, Maverick.
Slated. And F-Series.
America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Let's light them up.
Now that's some holiday power.
That's Holiday Pro Power onboard.
It's like a mobile generator.
Get a 2025 F-150 with 0% APR for 60 months, 0 down and no payments for up to 90 days. Only at your Southern Nevada Ford dealers.
The power of we is all for one. It's all for you. It's always there for you. It completes your circle. It says you've got a team even when you're out there alone. And with Intermountain Health in your circle, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
Raiders Roundtable is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Welcome back inside Raiders Roundtable. Looking ahead now for the Silver and Black. 2 games left in the regular season. The road games are done, EA.
Yes, we're at home.
At Allegiant.
That's right. And I tell you what, the Giant game, this is like sacks. If you're a defensive lineman, you want to get sacks for the rest of the next couple of weeks. You want to reach all those goals. So I'm not saying being selfish, but get after it right now. Get some picks, get some sacks. It's a time for these, the offensive line to get stronger, the running game to get better. And if you're coming to the stadium, come and check out me and JT at the Torch before the game.
Always do. And then
you got to.
Check out the Hall of Fame plaque as well.
That's right. I'll have all this stuff. And then we saw free agency and the draft coming up in a.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But as it pertains to the Giants,
oh man,
another team, 9 straight losses, 2-13 on the season.
Yeah.
When you look at their quarterback, Jackson Dart, over 400 yards rushing, a guy you talk about, go get sacks, go get the ball. Feels like there's going to be opportunity because he's a young guy and because he's going to be moving around.
Yeah, he's going to be back there in the backfield trying to make a play or two, and that's a great chance for our defensive linemen to get after him and let him know, this is a young guy who's trying to earn his way to respect in the National Football League, and with the performance we had, it's going to be on tape, so just kind of get your sacks.
EA, you've talked about this a lot, about stacking days. Regardless of what the day is, regardless of what the season is, stacking days. Feels like for this defense in particular that really showed up in Houston.
Right.
We're flying around, a lot of juice.
Yeah.
Coming back home, ending this thing on a good note.
This is evaluation season. So when the coaches are turning on that film later in the season, when you're out of the playoffs and out of contention, we want to see energy. We want to see that you're moving around, that you are responsible, you're taking accountability, you're having fun out there. Even if you're not going to be on this football team, all the rest of the 31 GMs are looking at this tape to find out if you're the kind of guy who's going to continue to give it 100%, especially when you're on the same field as Max Crosby and he's going a million miles an hour with those great shoes he had on, which I'm about to go downstairs and get.
I'm going to join you then. I'm here too.
No, you're not.
It's not just about the player. It's not just about the logo, but again, put it on a performance for the fans, for Raider Nation.
That's right.
Inside Allegiant Stadium. 2 more opportunities to do so starting Sunday against the New York Giants. For the Hall of Famer EA, I'm Vince Sapienza. We'll talk to you next week.
Merry Christmas.